Hello, my friends, Dr. Mandell here. Inflammation is the silent fire inside our bodies, the root cause of nearly every chronic disease you can imagine, from joint pain, brain fog, fatigue, to heart disease and even cancer. It all begins with inflammation. Inflammation. It's the invisible fire burning silently inside millions of bodies every single day. You can't see it, you can't always feel it, but it's there, slowly eroding your energy, your focus, your mood, and your lifespan. Scientists now call chronic inflammation the silent killer because it's directly linked to almost every degenerative disease we fear: heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. But what if nature had already created a compound so powerful, so biologically active, that it could crush this inflammation at its root, more effectively than turmeric or green tea ever could? Hidden in one of the smallest spices on earth lies that secret, and that spice is the clove. Cloves may look tiny, but inside them is a biochemical weapon against disease, a natural molecule called eugenol. For decades, scientists thought of eugenol as just a fragrant compound, something that gave clove its warm aroma. But deep inside laboratory tests, they discovered something extraordinary. Eugenol is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory agents known to modern science. Researchers at the Journal of Immunotoxicology found that eugenol directly blocks the pathways that create inflammatory cytokines, those small destructive messengers that signal your immune system to attack your own healthy cells. In simple terms, eugenol doesn't just soothe inflammation, it stops it before it even begins. Think about what that means for your body. Every time you eat processed food, inhale polluted air, or go through emotional stress, your cells release an army of inflammatory chemicals. These chemicals damage your DNA, your tissues, and your blood vessels. But eugenol acts like a shield, intercepting those destructive compounds and neutralizing them before they cause harm. In fact, scientists discovered that eugenol's antioxidant power is so strong it can scavenge free radicals 5 times faster than vitamin E. That's not folklore, that's biochemistry. Now let's put this in perspective. Turmeric is world famous for its anti-inflammatory curcumin. Green tea has catechins like EGCG that protect the heart and brain. But here's the truth very few people know. Both of those compounds struggle with absorption. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning your body can't use most of it unless you pair it with black pepper or oil. EGCG is water-soluble and passes quickly through your system. But eugenol from cloves, it's both fat and water-soluble. That means your body can absorb it efficiently, deliver it to every cell, and keep it active in your bloodstream for hours, giving you longer, deeper protection. In a groundbreaking study from the Journal of Medicinal Food, scientists tested clove extract on human cells exposed to oxidative stress, the same kind of cellular stress caused by pollution and poor diet. Within just a few hours, inflammation markers like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha dropped by up to 80%. That's not just a small improvement, that's a biological reset. Imagine a natural spice reversing the same inflammatory pathways that drive arthritis, heart disease, and neurodegeneration with zero side effects. What makes this even more fascinating is how nature designed it. Every clove bud is loaded with flavonoids, tannins, and phenolic acids that enhance eugenol's power. When they enter your bloodstream, these compounds don't just reduce inflammation, they repair cell membranes, protect neurons, and improve mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are your body's energy factories, and inflammation slowly poisons them over time. Eugenol literally breathes new life into your cells by stabilizing those fragile membranes and letting them generate energy efficiently again. But the magic doesn't stop there. Inflammation often starts in the gut. Modern diets filled with sugar, seed oils, and chemicals damage the gut lining, leading to what scientists call leaky gut syndrome. This allows toxins to leak into the bloodstream, triggering chronic immune responses. Cloves naturally contain compounds that kill harmful bacteria like E. coli and H. pylori, while nourishing the beneficial bacteria that keep your gut healthy. So by calming inflammation in your digestive tract, cloves are indirectly protecting your entire body, your brain, your skin, your heart, your joints, because inflammation always begins in the gut. And let's talk about pain. Chronic inflammation equals chronic pain. It's why people wake up stiff, sore, and tired. Eugenol works on the same pain receptors as some synthetic painkillers, but without the damage to your liver, kidneys, or stomach. It desensitizes pain pathways and increases your threshold for discomfort, all while promoting blood flow and tissue healing. That's why in traditional medicine, clove oil has been used for centuries for toothaches, because the same compound that numbs pain in the gums can also quiet inflammation in the body. You see, modern medicine often isolates a single molecule and turns it into a drug. But nature's intelligence doesn't work that way. Cloves are a symphony of compounds working together, eugenol as the conductor, supported by antioxidants like camphorol, quercetin, and gallic acid, creating a harmony of healing that synthetic drugs simply can't replicate. The result is not just symptom relief, it's cellular restoration. Now here's something that might shock you. The oxygen radical absorbance capacity, ORAC score, a measure of antioxidant power, ranks cloves as one of the highest foods ever tested, over 290,000 ORAC units per 100 grams. To put that in perspective, blueberries, often called a superfood, have around 9,000. Cloves are more than 30 times stronger. This means a pinch of ground cloves can neutralize the same amount of oxidative stress as handfuls of other so-called superfoods combined. The beauty of cloves is how little you need. Just a half teaspoon of ground cloves in warm water or 2 whole cloves chewed gently after meals can deliver measurable benefits. They improve digestion, reduce bloating, and support detoxification. Over time, as inflammation decreases, your energy returns, your mind clears, and your body begins to heal itself from the inside out. This isn't magic. It's simply biology returning to balance. Yet most people never think of cloves beyond a holiday spice. They're sitting on the shelf collecting dust while the world spends billions searching for synthetic anti-inflammatories that cause more harm than good cloves are proof that nature gave us what we need long before laboratories ever existed. When you start incorporating cloves into your diet, whether in tea, smoothies, or cooking, you're not just adding flavor, you're turning on your body's internal defense system. You're giving your cells the raw material to repair, regenerate, and fight back against the oxidative stress of modern life. You're literally lowering your risk for diseases that take decades to develop, simply by letting a natural compound do what it was designed to do. The next time you see that tiny brown spice, remember, it's not just a flavor, it's medicine. It's one of the most concentrated sources of antioxidants ever discovered. It's a natural anti-inflammatory that rivals and in many ways surpasses turmeric and green tea, because sometimes the most powerful cures are not found in expensive supplements or miracle pills. They're right there, hidden in the smallest gifts of nature, waiting for us to remember their power, stay curious, stay healthy, and always remember your body was designed to heal itself if you simply give it what it needs. Every second deep inside your body, something invisible is happening. Billions of cells are talking, sending chemical signals back and forth, trying to keep you alive. But when those signals become distorted, when the system that's supposed to protect you turns against you, inflammation begins, not the kind you see on the surface when you cut your hand, but the kind that brews silently within your organs, your arteries, your brain. This invisible inflammation is the root of nearly every chronic disease known to science: heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's, and even depression. And inside this biological storm, there's one molecule that science is now calling a miracle of nature, a compound that goes straight to the origin of the problem, disarming inflammation at its source. That compound is eugenol, found in something so ordinary you probably walk past it every day, the humble clove. For years, scientists have searched for natural compounds that don't just mask pain or suppress inflammation temporarily, but actually stop the body from producing the very chemicals that cause it. Eugenol does exactly that. When your cells detect stress from processed foods, pollution, emotional strain, or injury, they release molecules called cytokines. Cytokines act like alarm bells, signaling your immune system to respond. But in chronic inflammation, these cytokines never turn off. They keep your immune system in a constant state of alert, flooding your body with chemicals that damage healthy tissue. What makes eugenol extraordinary is that it targets the enzymes that trigger those cytokines, enzymes like COX2 and 5-LOX, the same ones pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs are designed to block, except eugenol does it naturally without harming your liver, kidneys, or heart. In one landmark study published in the European Journal of Pharmacology, researchers found that eugenol reduced the production of inflammatory mediators by nearly 75% in human immune cells, the same effectiveness seen with prescription medications. But the difference is in how it works. Synthetic drugs act like a hammer, forcefully shutting down pathways. Eugenol, on the other hand, acts like a conductor, gently guiding your body back to balance, allowing natural healing without disrupting other vital functions. Now here's where the science gets even more fascinating. Most natural anti-inflammatories like curcumin from turmeric or catechins from green tea have one major problem. They can't easily cross biological barriers. They may work in the gut or briefly in the bloodstream, but they rarely reach the brain, where inflammation causes some of the most devastating damage: memory loss, brain fog, anxiety, and neurodegeneration. Eugenol, however, is both fat and water soluble. That means it can dissolve in both the fluids and the fats of your body, allowing it to travel freely through the bloodstream and even cross the blood-brain barrier, something few natural compounds can do. Once inside, it begins calming the overactive microglial cells, the brain's immune cells responsible for inflammation in the nervous system. In a study from the Journal of Neurochemistry, scientists discovered that eugenol significantly reduced oxidative stress and inflammation in brain tissue, protecting neurons from premature death. Think about that. A compound from a common spice can enter the brain, neutralize inflammation, and shield your memory cells from decay. This is why populations that use cloves regularly in their diets show lower rates of neurodegenerative diseases and sharper cognitive performance into old age. But the magic doesn't stop in the brain. Eugenol works systemically. It lowers C-reactive protein, CRP, one of the most reliable markers of chronic inflammation in the blood. High CRP is directly linked to heart disease and stroke. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that reducing CRP by even 1 milligram per liter can lower cardiovascular risk by 20%. Eugenol doesn't just lower CRP, it also prevents the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, which is the real trigger for arterial plaque buildup. That means your arteries stay cleaner, more flexible, and better at delivering oxygen to every organ. And if you've ever felt constant fatigue, joint stiffness, or unexplained pain, that's inflammation too, slowly suffocating your cell's energy production inside your mitochondria. The tiny power plants of your cells. Inflammatory molecules damage the membranes that generate ATP, the fuel of life. Eugenol protects those membranes. It stabilizes them, allowing your cells to breathe again to create energy efficiently. That's why people who consume clove extract or clove tea regularly report more stamina, better mood, and fewer aches over time. What makes eugenol so unique is its precision. It doesn't shut down your immune system like some anti-inflammatory drugs do. Instead, it modulates it. It tells your immune cells when to stand down, when to heal instead of attack. This balance is critical because your immune system is not your enemy. It's your protector. Chronic inflammation is simply an overreaction. Eugenol helps your body remember how to respond properly. The beauty of this compound lies in how effortlessly it integrates into the body's own chemistry. It's not foreign, not toxic, not synthetic. It works in harmony with your natural processes. In animal studies, scientists found that eugenol boosted the body's own antioxidant enzymes, superoxide dismutase and glutathione peroxidase, two of the most powerful defense molecules humans produce. That means your body doesn't just rely on eugenol. Eugenol actually trains your cells to defend themselves better long after it's gone from your system. Now imagine the power of that in everyday life. Every time you drink a clove-infused tea or chew a few cloves after a meal, you're feeding your cells a message that says calm down, repair, restore. You're lowering inflammation not just in your joints, but in your heart, your liver, your gut, your brain. And because eugenol stays active longer than curcumin or green tea catechins, you're protected for hours, not minutes. This is why many holistic doctors are now calling clove the forgotten anti-inflammatory. While turmeric and green tea get all the attention, clove quietly holds some of the most scientifically validated healing properties known to nature. It's not hype. It's chemistry backed by decades of data. Think of inflammation like a fire smoldering in a forest. Turmeric and green tea can sprinkle water on the flames, cooling them temporarily, but eugenol goes underground, to the roots, where the fire started, and extinguishes it there, preventing it from ever reigniting. That's the difference between managing inflammation and healing it. We live in a world that constantly feeds inflammation, from the food we eat to the stress we carry to the air we breathe. But nature, in her quiet wisdom, gave us answers long before modern medicine tried to recreate them in a lab. Eugenol isn't just another antioxidant. It's a molecular teacher, reminding your body how to balance itself, how to heal from the inside out. And the best part, you don't need a prescription. You don't need to buy expensive supplements. The power of eugenol lives in one of the simplest, most accessible spices on earth. Add a pinch of ground clove to your tea, sprinkle it on your food, let it become part of your daily ritual. Over time, you'll start to feel the difference. More clarity, more calm, less pain, deeper sleep. Because when inflammation ends, healing begins. When your body is no longer fighting itself, it can finally do what it was designed to do: regenerate, repair, and thrive. Eugenol doesn't just reduce inflammation, it rewrites the story of your health from the root. Stay healthy, stay informed, and remember, the smallest molecules often hold the biggest miracles. Most people think healing requires something complicated: expensive supplements, strict diets, impossible routines. But sometimes, the most powerful medicine hides in simplicity. One of the smallest things you can do each day can quietly reset your entire body from the inside out. It doesn't come in a pill, it comes from nature, and it's called the clove. Just a tiny pinch of this aromatic spice used daily can ignite profound changes in your digestion, immunity, energy, and cellular repair. Because inside that small brown bud lives one of nature's most concentrated sources of healing power. When you introduce cloves into your routine, you're not just adding flavor to your food, you're feeding your cells information. You're giving your body biochemical instructions to lower inflammation, fight infection, and regenerate faster. Scientists from the National Institute of Health Sciences in Japan discovered that consuming small amounts of clove powder daily increased antioxidant activity in the bloodstream by more than 300% within 7 days. That means your body suddenly becomes 3 times better at neutralizing free radicals, the unstable molecules that accelerate aging and disease. Imagine that, triple the defense from something you can hold between your fingers. Let's talk about what happens first: your digestion. Inside your gut live trillions of bacteria that decide everything from your mood to your metabolism. But modern diets packed with sugar and processed oils have destroyed this balance. Cloves are nature's way of restoring it. Research in the Journal of Natural Products shows that cloves' essential oils kill harmful bacteria like E. coli and H. pylori while protecting the good ones that produce vitamins and neurotransmitters. That means less bloating, less acid reflux, and a stronger gut lining, the barrier that keeps toxins out of your bloodstream. A healthy gut is a calm immune system, and a calm immune system means less inflammation everywhere else in the body. Next, your blood sugar. Every spike in glucose triggers an inflammatory reaction that damages your arteries and your nerves. Scientists from the University of Agriculture and Technology in India found that just half a teaspoon of clove powder daily improved insulin sensitivity by over 30% in people with prediabetes. Eugenol and the polyphenols in cloves slow down the breakdown of carbohydrates, preventing sharp sugar surges after meals. Over time, this means steadier energy, fewer crashes, and a body that burns fat more efficiently. Many people notice that when they start drinking clove-infused water in the morning, their sugar cravings drop dramatically, not because of willpower, but because their cells are finally balanced again. Then comes the immune system. Every time you take in a few cloves, you're sending a signal to your white blood cells to wake up, repair, and protect. Cloves contain compounds that increase the production of interferons, the same proteins your body releases when fighting viruses. Studies published in Phytotherapy Research confirm that daily clove extract enhances immune response, while simultaneously reducing chronic inflammation markers like CRP and IL-6. That's why traditional healers use cloves not only for colds, but for long-term resilience. A strong immune system isn't loud, it's silent strength, and cloves teach your body that rhythm again. And the benefits don't stop there. When your inflammation goes down and your circulation improves, something magical happens. Your brain clears, blood flow to the brain increases, oxygen levels rise, and neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin rebalance naturally. Scientists at Chonbuk National University in South Korea found that eugenol from cloves protected neurons against oxidative stress, improving cognitive function and memory in lab animals by nearly 40%. Many people who start using cloves daily describe it as mental brightness. Colors seem sharper, thoughts come faster, the mind feels lighter. That's your brain working without the constant fog of inflammation. Let's not forget the joints. Chronic pain, stiffness, and swelling are all fueled by inflammatory enzymes. When eugenol enters your bloodstream, it acts directly on those enzymes, COX-2 and LOX, reducing the chemicals that create pain. A small clinical trial published in the Journal of Pain Research showed that patients with osteoarthritis who took clove extract experienced a 50% reduction in joint pain within 2 weeks, comparable to ibuprofen, but without the stomach damage. Imagine walking upstairs, stretching, or waking up without that dull ache that's been there for years, and realizing that a simple spice did what medication couldn't. Now the question everyone asks, how much and how? Because something this powerful doesn't require much. Start with half a teaspoon of ground cloves, stirred into warm water, tea, or honey once a day, or chew 2 to 3 whole cloves after meals, a natural mouth cleanser that also stimulates digestion. Add a pinch of ground clove to your oatmeal, smoothie, or soup. The key is consistency, not quantity. The body thrives on rhythm, a steady daily signal that tells it to repair, detox, and balance. But remember, potency matters. Cloves are strong. More is not better. Excessive amounts can irritate the stomach or thin the blood, so stay within natural limits. Think of it like light. Enough illuminates, too much burns. If you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or on blood-thinning medication, talk to your healthcare provider first. Nature heals best when used with respect. Something remarkable happens when you pair cloves with cinnamon and black pepper. Cinnamon improves circulation, helping eugenol reach deeper tissues. Black pepper contains piperine, which boosts nutrient absorption. Together, they create a synergy, a trio that amplifies each other's effects, producing a wave of antioxidant power that moves through your body for hours. That's why traditional Ayurvedic tonics combined these spices centuries ago. They already understood the language of chemistry before laboratories could prove it. Over weeks of daily use, subtle transformations appear. Your digestion smooths out. You wake up feeling lighter. Your energy lasts longer. The skin starts to glow because blood flow improves and oxidative stress drops. Even sleep deepens as cloves' natural calming properties relax the nervous system and regulate cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps millions awake at night. You begin to notice what health actually feels like: quiet energy, clear thoughts, calm emotions. That's not coincidence, that's inflammation leaving the body. Modern medicine is beginning to catch up. Researchers are exploring eugenol-based therapies for Alzheimer's, liver disease, and metabolic disorders. They're finding that what a pharmaceutical drug tries to imitate, a spice already does, naturally, gently, effectively. It reminds us that healing was never meant to come from the outside in, but from the inside out. So when you look at that tiny jar of cloves in your kitchen, don't see a spice. See potential. See a daily ritual that reconnects you with nature's chemistry, because the truth is, your body already knows how to heal. It just needs the right signals. Clean food, calm mind, deep rest, and the compounds nature designed. Cloves are one of those signals. 1/2 teaspoon, 2 minutes a day. That's all it takes to awaken a process your body has been waiting to begin for years. No gimmicks, no hype. Just a quiet, powerful transformation that starts from your cells and ripples outward. The smallest things often make the biggest difference. The clove is proof. One tiny bud capable of reshaping inflammation, energy, immunity, and life itself. So tonight, when you sip that cup of warm clove tea or chew that little brown bud, know that you're not just taking a spice, you're giving your body permission to heal. Because healing doesn't start in the hospital. It starts in the kitchen, in the simplest daily choices, in the tiny moments where nature and science meet. And sometimes it starts with something as small as a clove. Stay healthy, stay curious, and remember, consistency creates miracles.